Good morning. My name is Janna Bass with Sampson Community College, and each month I am excited to chat with a guest from the community college to share insight about their areas of focus and their passions for students and education. So today I am excited to have Holly Brewington joining me today as the Student Government Association Advisor. Did I get that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Holly, thank you so much for being here today. And before we dive into your area of focus specific at the community college, share with us how long you've been at the community college and what took you to your current position.
Okay. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
I have been with the community college for 2 years. But before I came to the college, I worked for a local government agency, and I did marketing and event planning for a youth and adult program. I've always wanted to work in higher education. I've always told myself that. And so when the SGA vacancy came available, I immediately jumped on it. I applied for it, interview went well, and they hired me. And I was excited because I was moving into another position that was similar to what I'd already done. You know, I've done event planning, and so a lot of my responsibility as the SGA advisor is to coordinate student activities.
Absolutely. It's always fun sitting in Holly's office because she'll be sitting there and she'll have the students, pop in, and so you've definitely formed those great relationships with them. And there's just a lot of activities going on campus. So before we dive into different activities that are taking place, who is a part of SGA? And kind of explain how a student can be involved.
Technically, all curriculum students are a part of SGA because they pay an activity fee during registration. To get involved, though, they would need to be a part of the SGA Senate. And the Senate consists of the president, the vice president, secretary, a representative from each club, and myself as SGA advisor. And this group meets now. We meet on a weekly basis, and we have meetings where we plan events. We discuss issues that students may have brought to us, and we're like the driving force for the students on campus. So if students want to be a part of that, planning and hosting the events and helping me coordinate those events, they will need to get involved in the SGA Senate.
Okay.
Those who serve on the Senate must maintain a GPA of 2.0 or higher, and they also must be in good academic standing.
So as your role, you've mentioned that you're the SGA advisor, so you do a lot of advising for these students when it comes to activities. So what's your leadership role?
Well, my role, like you've said, is to advise the students in student government. I strive to be a positive role model, and I strive to not take over some of the projects and do it for them, because I always tell them that these are your activities, these are your peers, so you're going to be doing the meat of the planning, and you know what the students want, so it's going to help coordinate these events and stuff. And I just kind of lead them, kind of guide them, advise them into the right direction. And it's fun. It's very interesting to see some of the skills they have and some of the skills that blossom and that they develop.
Absolutely, and it's great for them to have that ownership with the events and getting their peers involved.
Exactly.
So you mentioned events. So what are some of the events that you held last fall, and what are some of the upcoming events that you have coming up this spring?
Well, SGA members and the SGA Senate, they work very hard to provide educational and fun activities on campus. So this past fall, we had a welcome back celebration. Of course, that's kind of self-explanatory, a little celebration for the students that were coming back to campus, and for new students that was their first time on campus, and that was a huge success. We've had Constitution Bingo this past fall. We've had a number of collection drives for charities in the community. We had a fall festival, and we had a Jingle Bell Rock. Now, the Fall Fest is one of our most popular events in the fall.
Yes, there was a huge turnout for that, and it was so fun seeing all the students and even faculty and staff, coming down and getting involved. It was a great event.
Yep, and it's probably one of the one of the events in the fall that we spend the most time planning as well, and where this SGA Senate gets a lot of experience in doing the event planning. But it's a fun day that we schedule kind of mid-fall or towards the end of the fall while they're taking exams or before they take exams. So it's kind of like a little break from the seriousness of schoolwork and exams, and they enjoyed it. It's fun-filled day. It's an all-day event. We had the mechanical bull riding that day, which was the most popular event. There was some dancing. We had a DJ out there. We also had a Halloween costume contest, and there was some photo taking. So it was a fun day.
What are some of the events that you have scheduled for this spring?
For the spring, we've been working on that for the last couple weeks, and we've already got tons of things scheduled. We have a movie night scheduled for next Thursday, and I think it's the first movie night I think I've seen at the college since I've been here. So they're really excited about that. We also have a Black History Month event scheduled for February 15th. And we're also making plans to have a Miss SCC pageant in April.
Oh, that will be fun. How many years has it been since there's been an SCC pageant?
I think it's been 2 or 3 years because the activity center was closed down because there was some renovation that needed to be done, and it's just now being available for activities to be held there. And so they've been asking me ever since I've been here for 2 years. I think it's probably been 3 years. Yeah. So they're excited.
For all these SGA events, for example, for the movie night coming up next Thursday, all curriculum students are encouraged to attend and are invited.
Yes, of course. We promote SGA events through the SGA Facebook page. We have some signs that we post around campus. We have a sign that's rotating on the digital signage that we have on campus. And our SGA Senate, I mean, they just use word of mouth and, tell their peers and their friends and to get the word out there. Yeah,
that'd be great. Recently, Sampson Community College and the Planning Council has adopted a new Viking logo. And, for years and years, I think ever since the beginning, Sampson Community College has been the Vikings. And so with this new Viking logo, it will primarily be geared towards student use, mostly SGA. So what are some ways that y'all are going to implement that logo and use that logo to help with brand awareness and to help promote the Viking?
Well, SGA has already been using the logo on the calendar of events that we pass out, the little flyers that we pass out when we have events. We have them posted in the Student Center, in the Activity Center. We've used it already on the Facebook page, and students are starting to talk about it. What is this Viking?
Right.
Because it has been a while since the Viking has been promoted. We'd love to work with the bookstore on campus to start getting the logo printed on t-shirts and cups and pens and other items of interest for the students. I think that we've already had some flash drives with the logo on it. I've seen those, and so we're ready to go. Just we're ready to work with the bookstore or whomever we need to start getting those things moving along.
That's great, but that's great that you've heard great feedback about it, and there's been some talk, down the road, having the students involved in the story creation of how the Viking landed in Sampson County, and there's been some conversations of some fun things that you can do with that down the road. So as we start to wrap up today, thank you again for being with me today and sharing about some of the events that you have on campus and the great things that you're doing with SGA. What are some things that you would foresee taking place as new opportunities in the future?
Well, right now we have, we have the pageant coming up, and I call that a new opportunity because it's new for me. There hasn't been one for a couple of years, so, and it's new to the students too. They've heard of the SCC pageant, but we're a 2-year college, and there's a rotation of 2-year students, so the groups that we have now, have not been able to participate in the SCC pageant, so that is a new opportunity. Some of the SGA members have expressed trying to figure out a way to get more feedback from students, and so we have kind of implemented a tabling Tuesday that we do. Every Tuesday there's a table set up in the Student Center. Some of our members sit out there. Different things may be going on every week. They may be passing out some flyers. They may be asking students questions, you know, what kind of activities would you like to see on campus, just different opinions. So one of them has expressed maybe creating a suggestion box that we can put it in key places on campus, or just maybe in the Student Center. And so I think they're excited about that. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to work that out and how we're going to do it and use the information. And then we have a new opportunity coming up, which happens every year, but it's new for this semester. The presidential elections are coming up. So
For
each
SGA.
spring, right, for SGA. So each spring we have an election for the president. Students who meet the requirements, which is maintain a GPA of 2.0 or higher, and who are in good academic standing, are eligible to run for office. So we have a week of campaigning, we have a week of elections, and it's just it's a fun time if you're interested in running for that office. And then the new president will serve starting in the spring.
Great. In the spring or the fall?
I'm sorry, this fall.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
so they'll start the fall
Elections
of
are in the spring,
2016.
then they'll start in their position in their office in the fall. Yep.
Great. Well, thank you again for being with me today. And anybody that's interested, any curriculum student that's interested in being a part of SGA, please contact Holly Brewington. Your extension?
My extension is 3003. My office is located in the Warren Student Center, actually inside of the fitness center.
So make sure you check out SGA on Facebook, as well as check out those digital signs and your campus email. There's a lot of emails. So, of course, call us at 910-592-8081 and contact Holly Brewington for SGA information. And thank you again for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.